Hello everybody, today we're going to talk about solving percent problems. Okay, so finding the percent of a number. So the problem's like this, 20% of the number 60 is what? Okay, so the word of in math always means times. Okay, the word is in math always means equals. So you've got 0.2 times 60 equals what? What? The word what is always your variable. Okay? So, this is what that means. If I translate it into math, it means 0.20 times 60 equals x. And then I can solve that. Because 0.2 times 60 is going to be 12. So x is 12. All right, so that's pretty easy. Just gonna have a bunch of word problems just like that. So 25% of 40 is what number? So this is rearranged just slightly, but 25%, that's gonna be 0.25. Of means times, 40 is means equals, what number? X. Okay, so 0.25 times 40 is 10. So X is 10. And you're done. Piece of cake. Okay, you do this one. So pause the video. Tell me what 60% of 150 is what number? Okay, so here's what you should have done. 0.6 times 150 is equals X. Okay, so 0.6 times 150, that's going to be what? 0 with a decimal, because we have one decimal place. It's going to be 30. That's going to be 90. Okay, so x is 90. And there you go. All right, 75% of what number is 48? Now, this is just like the last ones, except the order is different. So on this one, 75%, 0.75 of means times. What number is going to be my variable, so we can call it n. So 0.75 times n is 48. Okay, so we're going to go ahead and divide both sides by 0.75, and I really wish I had my calculator right now. Let's see. I'm gonna do this a little differently because I know that 0.75 is 3/4. So if I divide by 3/4, that's the same as multiplying by 4/3, right? And I know that 3 will go into 48. 16 times? So 16 times 4 is 64. So this is 64. N is 64. Done. Ooh, this one's different. 120% of what number is 72? Okay, what fun. So 120%, that's going to be 1.2. Remember, 100% is 1, so 120% is 1.2 of what number? So times a variable, we'll call the variable n for number, is 72. So now I'm going to go ahead and divide both sides by 1.2. Okay, I know that 12 goes into 72 6 times. So 1.2 should go in there 60 times. So there we go. If I wanted to check this, I would take 120% would be 1.2 times the number n, which is 60, and I should get 72. Well, let's see, put it down to 0. Then I've got 6 times 2 is 12, carry my 1, 6 times 1 is 6, plus 1 is 7, 1 decimal. Sure enough, it works. 72. Okay, now you're going to do these two. So you're going to go ahead and pause the video. You do 5% of what number is 10, and 62% of what number is 31. Okay, so pause the video here, and then unpause it when you're done and check your answer. Okay, so 5% point. Now be careful of this, because a lot of people put 0.5 down here for 5%. That is not 0.5, that is 50%. And you will get the answer wrong. 5% is 0.05. Times what number? Times n. Is 100, is 10, sorry. So now I'm going to divide by 0.05 on both sides. And what's that going to be? Let's see, 10 divided by 0.05, move the decimal 2, move the decimal 2, add zeros. That's going to be 200. So n is going to be 200. Okay, next, 62%. So 0.62 of what number times n is 31. So I'm going to go ahead and divide by 0.62 on both sides. Again, I wish I had my calculator with me at the moment. 31 divided by 0.62. Move the decimal 2, move the decimal 2. Okay, let's see. 62 will go into 310. 5 times. That's 5 times 2 is 10. And that's going to be 31. Oh, that was easy. 0, drop my 0. That's going to be 50. So n is 50. 62% of 50 is 31. Okie doke. Here we go. The width of a rectangular room is 80% of its length. What is the area of the room? Now, this is one of those problems, and there's a lot of them in the book, where you don't have enough information if you just read the question. You got to look at the pictures too, okay? So this picture shows you the room is 15 feet long. Okay, so the width, which would be right here, is 62%, or I'm sorry, is 80% of its length. So W is 0.8, that's 80% of, which means times 15. So I'm going to go ahead and multiply this out. That's going to be 40, that's going to be 12, 1 decimal. So W comes out to be 12, and it's in feet. So I got to have my units down. It's 12 feet. 12 feet by 15 feet. Oh, but we're not done yet, so let's not put a box around our answer here, because we didn't answer the question. That's something you got to be careful of. A lot of people do this. I've done it myself. You do all the math right, and you get it wrong because you didn't answer the question that was asked of you. They didn't ask you how wide the room was. They wanted to know the area of the room. Okay, so in order to find the area of the room, you had to find the width. So now, remember the second half of the problem is that it's a rectangular room. The area is the base times the height. Okay, so the base would be 15, and the height would be 12. Okay, so what's 15 times 12? Okay, so that's going to be 30, and then it's going to be 150 like this. So it's going to be 180. 180, and remember it's square feet, and the square comes after the feet. So now I've answered the proper question. I've found the area of the room is 180 square feet. Okay, you win an online auction for concert tickets. Your winning bid is 60% of your maximum bid. How much more were you willing to pay for the tickets than you actually paid? Okay, so you got to look at the picture again. This is an important piece of information right there. The winning bid was $120. So you spent $120 on these tickets. That was 60% of what you thought you might spend. So we got to write the equation. 60% is 0.6. 60% of the winning bid of some number came out to be 120. Okay, so I'm going to go ahead and divide by 0.6, and I get n equals, oh my gosh, okay, so 120 divided by 0.6, move the decimal. Okay, that'll go in there 2 times. That's going to end up being 200. So n is 200. Now, that is not the answer to the question. It is not D. Okay, because it doesn't answer the question. So it didn't say how much you were willing to pay. It says how much more were you willing to pay than you actually paid. So you were willing to pay $200. Okay, so we know that's not going to be the answer. Now, you actually paid 120, so we're going to subtract 120, which means you were willing to pay another 80 bucks if you had to for those tickets. The answer is B, $80. That's a bit of a tricky question. You might have to look out for that on a test. Okay, so we got quite a few problems. We're going to do 1 through 47 odd in class, but most of them are pretty quick to do. So I will see you guys tomorrow. Have a great day.